In this vid, I'm going to be reviewing DaBordPrsn's deck, and this is going to be a pretty quick vid because the majority of his cards are unlimited, meaning that they've already been rotated out. A tournament consists only of modified cards, which is currently Heart Gold Soul Silver to the Black and White series. So I'm still going to do a quick deck review just to kind of touch on the supporters and trainers, since he does have quite a few legal ones there, and to kind of give him a little bit of foundation in case he does want to enter a real tournament. But other than that, there's not going to be too much deck analysis on the actual Pokemon lines, since the cards aren't going to be allowed in an actual tournament. DaBordPrsn made a video of his deck, which I have posted in the description bar below if you'd like to check it out. From what I could see, the only card in this deck that was not illegal was the Raichu line. The Raichu that he plays is the one from Undaunted, which has Painful Punch and Spark. This card isn't technically bad. The Raichu Prime is definitely a stronger card, but Spark is not a bad move simply because it can also snipe the bench. This can be paired up with lots of other excellent snipers like Mandibuzz, Blastoise, Entei Suicune Legend, all sorts of cards. But unfortunately, since the majority of, well, the rest of his deck is unlimited format, I'm not quite sure what resources he has to work with and what else he can pair to make this deck a little bit better. So I'm not going to go over the Pokemon line too much. If you'd like to check out his vid and take a look at the cards, if there are unlimited tournaments in his area and you'd like to give him suggestions on how we can make this deck better for an unlimited tournament, that would be greatly welcome. But there's just not too much I can do with cards from, I think I even saw cards from the original base set, some of the supporters or the trainers. So let's go ahead and take a look at the energy line, because I did notice that we also have several illegal energy cards. Call, Multi, and Boost have all been rotated out, so the only energy you have in here that are legal are just your basic energies. Those won't ever rotate out. I noticed that your energy line is a little all over the place too. You've got lots of different Pokemon, so you've got 3 energy types. I would really try and streamline your decks to 1 or 2 energy types so that you don't have to run as many different basic energies. Taking a look at your trainers and supporters, we actually have quite a few that are still legal. I did notice in your video though that I believe it's the Rare Candy and maybe a couple of other cards are World Champion cards, and you can tell if it's a World Champion card by looking at the silver border around the edge, and then on the back it has World Champions on it. Those cards cannot be played in tournament, so another thing just to be on the lookout for if you do decide to enter a tournament is that those will not be allowed. You do have a Pokemon Collector though, which is a current card. In fact, if you're not too familiar with the set symbols, that is the HGSS symbol. That is the first or the earliest set that you can use in the modified format, and there's plenty of sites where you can look up the sets that are legal and not legal. You know, Pokemon.com, and if you're looking just for set symbols, Cerebi.net. There's quite a few others that I can link you to if you're interested. But Pokemon Collector is critical in any deck, so this is a really good card for you to have. The Potion, Energy Switch, the Rare Candy, Switch, and Plus Power. As well as the Energy Search are also all legal cards to use. You can't use Magma, Master Ball, Mom's Kindness, Night Maintenance, or Energy Restore. But let's go ahead and just kind of cut over a few things to improve your trainer supporter line that aren't too difficult to get a hold of. Right now you run 3 Energy Search. I prefer Interviewer's Questions over Energy Search. This is a pretty easy to find card. Let's see, we don't really have any draw power in this deck. The only draw power I believe you have is Mom's Kindness, which really isn't, I believe it allows you to draw 2, which is very similar to the new bill. If you certainly want those, you know, that'll be very easy to get a hold of. Better hand refreshers though are things like Professor Oak's New Theory and Copycat. It allows you to shuffle your hand in and just draw new hands. And then, of course, if your hand is just terrible, there's always Professor Juniper to allow you to discard everything. You do have the Rare Candy, but like I said, I think that at least one of the ones that you're using is a World Champion card, so you won't be able to use that. but your deck only runs one Stage 2 Pokemon, so as long as you're running the majority Stage 1 lines, you won't even really need rare candy. So that's something to think about when you're editing your deck. Some recovery cards. If you're behind on prizes, I recommend throwing in a Twins. And if you're getting a lot of things in the discard pile, we're doing a little recovery with Flower Shop Lady to bring those Pokemon energy back, or energy retrieval just to bring the energy back. That goes straight to your hand as a trainer, or a little more energy back straight to your hand as a supporter. Other critical cards that you'll see, you do run a couple of Switch, and sorry about knocking the camera there, so that is excellent. I would also recommend some Pokemon Communication to swap out for cards that you need, or you can always run Elm as well to search for those evolution cards, since you have Pokemon Collector to search for basics. If you don't have any more Pokemon Collector, since you ideally like to run more than one of them per deck, I recommend throwing in some Dual Ball. And then for reusing those trainers that you've already used, there's always Junk Arm. And there's plenty of other options that we can go with a trainer supporter line for this deck. But those are just the basics, which make up just a solid foundation. So if you're interested in making modified legal decks, certainly PM me a list, and I can take a good look at it. But right now, this list is just, there's too many older cards that have been rotated out that I'm just not familiar with, and I'm unable to do a very good deck review on the Pokemon line. But again, thank you for submitting it, and you did PM me the other day and said that you had a Magby in your possession that burns and then goes to sleep. That is a legal card, and definitely can be a great starter to stall your opponent for a little while you're getting set up. So it looks like you do have quite a few legal cards in your collection, so it's just a matter of sorting them out and figuring out what you can build a deck with. So, thank you for watching.